Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the deep end of Swedish driving theory, pulling essential questions directly from the source to help you completely master the road. Whether you're gearing up for your actual test or you just want to brush up on your daily driving skills, this walkthrough is going to give you the practical understanding you need to be a safe, effective driver.
Here's our roadmap for today. We've got 4 main stops: vehicle prep and safety, managing speed and distances, navigating intersections and pedestrians, and finally, driver focus and eco-driving. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. Vehicle Prep and Safety. Securing your ride. Imagine this scenario. 2 of your car's tires have better tread depth than the other 2. Where should those really good tires go? Is it A, on the front wheels? B, on the rear wheels? C, on the left side of the car? Or maybe D, it doesn't really matter. Well, the correct answer is actually B. You want your absolute best tires placed right on the rear wheels.
Why the back? It's all about keeping physical control of the car. The official guidelines are super clear here. Putting the tires with the most tread on the rear helps your car stay significantly more stable, especially if the road gets wet or icy. It dramatically cuts down your risk of going into a terrifying skid. Because let's be honest, nobody wants to accidentally drift their way to work on a Tuesday morning. Moving on to keeping our most important passengers safe. What is generally the safest way for a small child to travel in a car? Front seat with a normal seatbelt? On an adult's lap? Using an approved child restraint suitable for the child's size? Or sitting in the back without a restraint? Yeah, no surprise here, the answer is absolutely C. Standard seatbelts are made for adults, not toddlers. Kids need gear that's specifically tailored to their size and stage of development. An approved child restraint gives them far superior protection if you have to brake suddenly or, heaven forbid, get into a collision. And just for the record, holding a child on a passenger's lap offers literally zero physical protection in a crash. It is incredibly dangerous and just not worth the risk. Okay, moving right along to Section 2, Managing Speed and Distances, the Physics of Driving. Picture yourself cruising at 90 kilometers per hour. If you suddenly double your speed, what happens to your reaction distance? Does it halve, stay about the same, double, or quadruple? If you realize that doubling your speed means your reaction distance doubles too, you hit the nail on the head. Option C is correct. The math here is incredibly straightforward, but it's a real lifesaver. Your reaction distance is just the ground your car covers while your brain is simply going, whoa, hazard, and telling your foot to hit the brake. Because that human reaction time stays relatively constant, the distance your car travels while you react scales exactly with your speed. Double the speed, you literally double the distance you travel before you even start to slow down. Speaking of physics, what happens when it rains? You're driving on a wet road. How will your stopping distance normally be affected compared to a dry road? Longer, shorter, exactly the same, or does it only change at highway speeds? Logically, the answer is A. It usually becomes longer. You've always got to give yourself more room when the weather turns nasty. Why? Because water literally creates a barrier between your tires and the road, stripping away your grip. Less grip immediately means a longer braking distance, which means a longer total stopping distance. You absolutely cannot argue with the physics of water on asphalt. Which brings us right to our next scenario. You're doing 90 kilometers per hour behind another vehicle. Why is keeping a sufficient distance so critical? So others can't cut in? So you have time and distance to react and brake? To draft them and save gas like a race car driver? Or so you can overtake immediately? The only safe and correct choice here is B. Since we just established that higher speeds blow up both your reaction and braking distances, this gap between you and the car ahead is your ultimate safety buffer. It's your literal breathing room. You need that physical runway to stop safely if the driver in front of you randomly slams on the brakes. All right, on to Section 3. Navigating intersections and pedestrians, sharing the road. You pull up to an intersection. No lights, no priority signs. A car is approaching from your right. What normally applies? Do you go first because you arrived first? Does the bigger vehicle win? Must you give way to the vehicle from your right? Or does the fastest car have priority? Obviously, this isn't a video game. The correct answer is C. You must give way to the vehicle from your right. This right-hand rule is the absolute default setting for Swedish roads. When there are no signs or traffic lights to boss you around and tell you what to do, this rule steps in to keep the chaos at bay. You've always got to anticipate giving way to traffic coming from your right-hand side. It's that simple. And this idea of yielding carries right over into pedestrian safety. You're approaching an uncontrolled crossing and someone is about to step out. Do you speed up to beat them? Stop only if they're in your lane? Reduce your speed and give way? Or honk and keep driving? The answer is unequivocally C.
When it comes to pedestrians, you're the one in the heavy metal box, so you carry the burden of responsibility. You must always anticipate people stepping into the crossing and be physically prepared to bring your vehicle to a complete stop. By slowing down well in advance, you give yourself the time to react safely and let them cross. Let's bring it home with Section 4, Driver Focus and Eco-Driving, the Human Element. Here's a crucial one about intoxication. Why does even a tiny bit of alcohol make driving more dangerous? Does it improve reaction time, reduce judgment, attention, and reaction ability, only affect newbies, or only matter at high speeds? The answer is a massive, resounding B. Even a single drink starts chipping away at the complex cognitive functions you absolutely rely on to navigate traffic safely. Now, let's talk about something just as deadly as alcohol: driver fatigue. Driving when you are completely exhausted severely wrecks your ability to process information. So, what is a common warning sign that you're getting too tired to drive safely? Let's look at the options. Do you start driving more economically? Have trouble remembering the last few kilometers? Become hyper-aware of traffic? Or get faster reflexes? The correct answer is B. If you suddenly realize you have zero memory of the last 5 minutes of your drive, your concentration has tanked to a highly dangerous level. You need to pull over immediately. Finally, let's shift gears from personal safety to helping the planet. What driving technique reduces fuel consumption and emissions? Accelerating hard? Driving in a suitable high gear and planning ahead? Keeping RPMs high? Or braking at the last second? The eco-driving champ here is B. By utilizing high gears and anticipating the road to avoid abrupt stops and starts, your drive is smoother, you save gas, and you cut down on pollution. It's a total win-win. So, after diving into these life-saving rules sourced from engelskakorkort.se, I want to leave you with a serious question. Are you genuinely prepared to make these split-second decisions out there in the real world? Theory is not just about passing a multiple-choice test. It's the literal foundation of your survival and the safety of everyone sharing the road with you. Keep studying, keep reviewing, and make sure that the next time you turn that key, you are driving with absolute clarity and confidence. Stay safe out there.